If the same kind of people keep showing up in your life, the same dynamics keep playing out, the same situations keep finding you in different forms, there's a reason. And it's not the reason you might think. You're not unlucky in love. You're not cursed with bad friends. You're not the only one with a difficult family. Something else is happening. Something that's running underneath every single relationship in your life and pulling specific people and versions of people toward you while simultaneously keeping others away. That thing is called the law of resonance. And until you understand it, you're going to keep creating the same painful patterns no matter how many times you try to escape them. Different city, different job, different partner, same dynamic. Does that sound familiar to you? If that sounds all too familiar, stay with me because in this video, I'm going to show you what's happening, why no one in your life is random, and what to do when you realize the people around you are revealing something to you that nothing else can. I'm going to show you how you can take full accountability for the people that show up in your reality, and of course, how you can change it consciously. If you're new here, hello, I am your Muse Traci. On this channel, I help you unlock the power you already have but can't access. I help you break through where years of trying has already failed. And the biggest hurdle of all, I help you go from intellectually knowing the law to permanently embodying it. Let's start with what exactly is resonance. Resonance is a physics term. When two objects vibrate at the same frequency, they synchronize. They start affecting each other. They draw together. For example, if you strike a tuning fork in a room and any other tuning fork tuned to the same frequency is in that room, it will start vibrating too, without ever being touched, without anyone forcing it. The matching frequency does all the work. And this is exactly what's happening between you and every person in your life. You are vibrating at a specific frequency based on your beliefs, your assumptions, your programming, your state of being. And the people who match that frequency show up in your life automatically. They have to. That's the law. Not the people you want necessarily, although it might be, but it's the people who match what you are being, what frequency you are tuned to. This is why you can move to a brand new city, meet brand new people, and somehow, curiously, end up in the same dynamics you had back where you came from. Different faces, same patterns, because you brought your frequency with you. And your frequency drew the other matching frequencies to you. It's why some people seem to attract drama everywhere they go, and other people seem to attract calm and peace everywhere they go. It's not about luck or not luck. It's simply vibration. The people in your life are not separate from you. They're a precise reflection of your frequency, every single one of them. So let me say this clearly one more time. No one in your life is random. Not your partner, not your ex, not the friend who betrayed you, not the boss who sees or doesn't see your value, not the family member who triggers you, not the stranger who said something that changed your perspective. None of it is random. Every person is there because they resonate with something in you. This is what Neville meant when he said, everyone is yourself pushed out. The people in your life are showing you different aspects of your consciousness, externalized into different bodies and personalities. The person who keeps treating you like you don't matter, they are simply matching a belief somewhere in you that says, I don't matter. The person who can't commit to you, they're matching a belief somewhere in you that says love isn't reliable or that you're just not someone that deserves commitment. The person who finally treats you with respect, they are matching a new belief you've started to hold about yourself. Now, what about the people who hurt you? They were matching something too. Maybe a belief that you deserve to be hurt. Maybe a belief about love that you absorbed when you were young, that love isn't safe. Maybe a pattern you didn't even know was running. Now, this isn't about blame, okay? You didn't consciously choose any of the programming, but unconsciously, resonance is still actively working. It's the law. And that resonance is what brings the people in your life to you. Once you can see this through this understanding, it only then starts to become useful information, which is what it was always meant to be, useful information about you. You were never meant to see it as being done to you and that you're a victim to it, right? Unfortunately, that's what we're trained to think. But if you're here watching this, you know better. You're waking up to the fact that nothing is ever being done to you, right? And when you wake up to this fact, it empowers you to create the changes within yourself that you want to see in your reality. Because if your frequency drew these people in, your frequency can release them or transform them and transform the dynamic completely. They don't have to go away. You get to decide that. Every person in your life is showing you something about yourself that you couldn't see otherwise. The people who love you are showing you the parts of yourself you've accepted and embraced. The people who frustrate, showing you the parts of yourself you've rejected or judged. The people who keep disappointing you are showing you a belief you hold about not being prioritized or chosen. The people who finally show up for you are showing you a new belief that you matter and you're worth showing up for. This is the diagnostic gift of relationships. You don't have to wonder what's running in your subconscious anymore. Look at the people around you. They're telling you exactly what's in there. If you keep attracting unavailable partners, you have programming around being shown up for. Maybe you believe love has to be earned. Maybe you believe you're not enough to be chosen fully. Maybe you watched your parents have an unavailable dynamic and absorbed that model of love and relationship as your normal. If you keep attracting people who take advantage of you, you have programming around your value and worth. Somewhere you believe you have to give in order to be loved, or that your needs don't matter, or that you have to overextend to be worthy of keeping people around you or keeping love. If you keep attracting amazing people who show up for you, you have programming that supports being supported. You believe you're worth being shown up for. You believe love is consistent and reliable. The people are simply the mirror. They're showing you the programming with stunning accuracy. You just have to be willing to look at what you're seeing through that lens. You're not a victim. And as I always say, programming is changeable. If you don't like what you see and are experiencing, you can change it. You have all the power to change it. You are not a victim to your programming or your past. The most powerful information comes from the people who trigger you, actually. When someone in your life triggers a strong emotional reaction in you, that's not random. That's resonance at work, showing you something specific that you need to see. A trigger is showing you an unwanted belief that you are still holding within. The person isn't creating the wound. They're the mirror showing you what was already there. It's like, I want you guys to understand that they're not creating any wound. If you didn't already have the wound, whatever they're doing that activates that wound, if you didn't have the wound, whatever they're doing wouldn't have anything to activate, right? So it's like, if you don't have the button for someone to push, you do the work to throw the button away, they can't push a button that's not there. Right? So that's why I started this section with those are the most valuable people, because they're showing you something that you couldn't see, but something that already existed within you. Okay? Let's not blame them for putting the button there or the wound there. No, the wound was already there. They're just exposing it that maybe you couldn't have seen otherwise. This is also why two people can have the exact same experience and react completely different. One is triggered, the other isn't. Same circumstances. The difference is what's running inside their consciousness. The one who's triggered has the matching programming or the wound. The one who isn't simply doesn't. So I've been pointing this out in a lot of my videos lately, and if you could get this part, you would be light years ahead of the game we're all playing here. So the world is your mirror, forever showing you what you are doing to you. So when someone activates you, instead of focusing on what they did wrong, ask yourself, what got activated in me? Had to be within me first. What belief just got proven right? What have you been holding within yourself that you can now see that's ready to be released? What programming just got confirmed? Because that programming is what's drawing more situations like that into your life. The person isn't the problem. And if you don't understand what this trigger is showing you, you know, don't worry, you'll have another opportunity to get it, right? That's why things keep repeating. Unwanted things keep repeating because you keep seeing yourself as a victim, when really the universe is trying to show you something that you couldn't see within yourself, but you keep saying, why do I keep getting all these people doing this to me? You have to change the lens. No one's doing anything to you. And by the way, they'll keep showing up in increasing intensity, trying to get you to stop and recognize what's going on. If you want that to stop, just recognize what's going on. Recognize that you hold the key to changing that unwanted loop and cycle. It's not the other person. I work with my clients on this constantly. They come to me, upset about a person, a situation, a betrayal, and we don't focus on changing the person. We focus on the programming that created the resonance with that situation in the first place. You can go about changing every person in your life. If the programming stays the same dynamic will show up again and again with some new faces. But likewise, if you change the programming and the resonance changes, and then either the same people start treating you completely differently, or they fall away and new people who match your new frequency come in and take their place. That's how it works every time. When you start changing your programming, when you start raising your frequency, some of the people in your life are going to fall away. Not because you've abandoned them, not because you're better than them, but because you no longer resonate with them. The frequency match that brought you together isn't there anymore. And this can be painful, especially when it's people you've known for years, family members, long term friends, even partners. But this is part of how the law works. As you change, your reality changes, including the people in your reality. Some relationships will transform, the other person will rise right along with you. The dynamic will shift. You'll feel like you're meeting them for the first time, even though you've known them for, many years. Other relationships will just dissolve, not in dramatic ways necessarily, just naturally. The connection will fade. Conversations will become harder. You'll feel less drawn to spend time together, and eventually you'll realize you've drifted apart because it wasn't a match. And you don't need to fight this. This is the law clearing space for new resonant people to enter your life. And you don't need to fear this. This isn't going to happen to the people that you want to keep in your life. You have ultimate say. The people who match your old frequency couldn't come with you to the new one. That's not their fault. It's not yours either. It's just how resonance works. And the space they leave gets filled by people who match who you're now becoming. People you couldn't have attracted before because you weren't vibrating at that level. They'll start showing up, some seemingly out of nowhere, and you'll realize they were never random either. They came because of who you now are. So how do you actually change who's in your life through changing your resonance? You don't focus on the people. Surprise, surprise. You focus on you. You identify the programming, creating your current circumstances, the beliefs about love, about your value, about how relationships work, the unconscious assumptions running in the background. You change those at the subconscious level, not by affirming over them, but by doing the deeper work to actually shift them. And once the programming changes, your frequency changes. Once your frequency changes, your resonance changes. Once your resonance changes, the people in your life have to shift to match. This will happen automatically. There's nothing more you need to do because you are changing the cause, and the effect will automatically change. This is exactly the work I do with my clients. We don't work on getting their SP back or making their partner treat them differently or making their family see them differently. We work directly on the programming, creating the dynamics that were in place. And when the programming changes, everything around them changes. Not because they forced anyone to change. You can't, by the way. No, because they changed the cause. They changed the resonance within them. And then it sticks. The change is permanent because it was changed at the source, also known as their programming, their inner world, rather than working on changing the effect, which is why things go in and out when you try to approach it this way. Yeah, you can get a tech, you can get whoever back into your life. You can do all of that. I've done it too. But if you want a permanent change, this is the way. The principle is simple. Your only job is to change the cause, your consciousness. And when you do, everything that is the effect will change automatically. It's your consciousness that's drawing them in or pushing them away in the first place. So if you don't like who's in your life, look at what you're vibrating. If you don't like how people treat you, look at what you're believing about yourself. Change the inner cause. The outer effect has to follow. That's the law. No one in your life is random. Not the people who hurt you, not the people who love you, not the people who left, not the people who came back. Not the new ones showing up. They're all there because of resonance, because something in you is matching something in them, or because something in you is calling something in them. You're not a victim of who shows up. You are the cause of who shows up. This is hard at first, especially when you look at the painful relationships and realize there was resonance there. But this is also where your power is, because if you created the resonance, you can change the resonance. Likewise, if you're a victim, you have no power. Look at the people in your life. Ask what they're showing you. Ask what beliefs they're matching. Ask what programming you're vibrating at that brought them to you. And again, this takes courage, bravery. I cannot stress that enough. You have to be willing to look honestly and non-judgmentally at you. But of course, what could be more self-loving than that? So when you change the programming, you watch your relationships transform automatically. If you want my help identifying the deeper programming, creating the patterns in your relationships, if you're ready to change your resonance permanently, if you're done with in and out cycles and you're ready to watch your reality respond, there's a link in the description where you can book a free one-on-one call with me to see if we're a good fit to work together. My clients learn to change the patterns they've been creating their entire lives, and they learn to start attracting the people and dynamics they actually want. If that sounds like something you want to master as well, click the link down below and let's talk. Thank you all so much for watching this one. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for being here. I'll see you in the next one.